Here is Sarah Huckabee Sanders, now governor of Arkansas, just like her dad was. She's on with Fox's Shannon Breem. What's she doing? Well, she's basically destroying history and bragging about it.
You hit the ground running this week after your inauguration. A number of executive orders. Some folks love them. Some folks do not. Let's talk about your critics' reaction to some of these orders. One of them is called Executive Order to Prohibit Indoctrination and Critical Race Theory in Schools. The House Minority Leader there in Arkansas, a Democrat, says this: we can't support our teachers if we alienate and insult them with headline-grabbing executive orders. She says CRT is not being taught in Arkansas schools. Axios seems to back her up. They said, reality check, there's no indication that the college-level course is taught in any Arkansas public school. So if that's true, why the executive order?
It's incredibly important that we do things to protect the students in our state. We have to make sure that we are not indoctrinating our kids and that these policies and these ideas never see the light of day. We should never teach our kids to hate America or that America is a racist and evil country. In fact, it should be the exact opposite. We know for a fact that the federal Department of...
Like, we've gotten so far from understanding of what indoctrinate means. Like, in any understanding of like what a government and schools do to kids and indoctrinate them isn't to like be critical of their own government. It's the opposite. It's just insane.
Indoctrination is like teaching blind fealty to things. They've reversed it entirely.
Our kids to hate America or that America is a racist and evil country. In fact, it should be the exact opposite. We know for a fact that the federal Department of Education issued CRT guidance and policies to every school district in the country. Our job is to protect the students, and we're going to take steps every single day to make sure we do exactly that. And that's the reason I signed the executive order. I'm proud of the fact that we're taking those steps, and we're going to continue to do it every single day that I'm in office.
Can teachers, though, still have the uncomfortable conversations about the sins of our past, about the things this country has gotten wrong?
Our teachers absolutely need to teach our history, but they shouldn't teach our kids and our students ideas to hate this country and to give a false premise about who we are and what we're about. And that is something that we have to make sure we protect our students from. We also need to make sure our teachers are actually focused on teaching our students reading, writing, science, math. These are the areas that we have to improve here in Arkansas. That's why one of the biggest and first things that I have laid out over the course of the 2 years during the campaign is a huge education reform package, making sure that we're focused on things like literacy, parental empowerment,
She can't even accept the premise that there have been bad things in our past. So we're going to skip the history thing. Just to be clear, she's very proud of herself that this is what she's done with the Arkansas schools. 38th in the country. K through 12, 41st in the country in terms of higher education. They are, in other words, in the bottom, bottom 20 percentile, essentially, in terms of educational outcomes. And one of the ways that we're going to fix that here in Arkansas is we're going to outlaw history, and we're going to just replace that with creative writing.
Learn reading, like how to read math.
It's flag respecting.
I mean, creative writing, that might be a little bit too far, Sam, right?
Well, that's in place of history. We're just going to put in some new creative writing that some of the folks around here have written up, and people are just going to study that creative writing.
Yeah. Just important to know that like the Republican Party and the conservative movement, they really, really need for you not to understand our history, for them, their political ideology to seem in any way tantalizing or, legitimate.
And this has been a long time project, right? I mean, this is the lost cause.
Mm-hmm. Like
right?
Scope's monkey trial too.
Yeah. I mean, this has been happening, this anti-CRT push is just like the lost cause stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's all it is. It is a way of fabricating our history. That's why they were so mad about the Confederate statues coming down.
Yeah.
Because the Confederate statues were part of creating this myth that the Civil War was not about slavery.
Yep.
And that's why all these statues went up in the 1920s with the resurgence of the KKK in this country and the throwing off of any of the implications of Reconstruction. This is, this is like a massive disinformation campaign, essentially. And
this is what they have to do because they can't, like Jerry Jones in 1957, go to Little Rock High School and be like, don't go in there.
Yeah, well, we are in like, what, year 160 of Confederacy revisionist history. It's just like, that is one of the most long-lasting conservative projects in the history of the country.
I am not, in general, in favor of an extended military occupation, but we should have stayed down there for 50 years.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Actually, there's this letter that Custer wrote because he was like a McClellan sort of supporter. They didn't want to actually fight the South. And everyone suspected him of like sort of having Confederate sympathy. So he wrote this letter saying we should have occupied it for generations. And he didn't actually believe that, but he did it. He released it politically. But I agree with what he said. We should have occupied the South.
Yep. Without a doubt. Huge mistake.